Hello. Welcome back to the Chubby Cheese with a Side of Sammich Podcast, ASMR version. My name is Chubby Cheese.
No, we're not doing that.
Alright, fine. You fucking turn down the sensitivity on my goddamn microphone. Turning it all the way fucking up so that we could, have
Not
a little
doing
fun beginning, but guess that's not happening.
Nope.
Hi Sam, how you doing?
Good, pretty good. How are you, Sean?
I'm doing well. I had a hell of a week.
Yeah.
As I always do. I live life on the edge, Spent a lot of it at home.
Hello, darkness, my old
It's got to be there. Every podcast. It's just a rule now.
Yeah.
Like, if it doesn't become a meme, it's just... And so I'm going to say something depressing every podcast, and you just gotta come in with it. Yeah. That's your job. That's what we pay you for.
I get paid now?
I know we don't pay you much.
Who the hell is paying me?
You're supposed to get a check every other week from a guy named Greg. He wears a suit and has astigmatism. So,
Fug.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Greg.
we could share glasses because I have astigmatism also.
It's a hell of a thing. You should just do what I do and have perfect 20/20 vision. That's how I get around it.
Fuck you.
You know what I mean?
Alright, so what did you do this weekend? Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, welcome
first
back.
Of all.
Yeah, apologize about the audio quality on the last podcast. I think we got it figured out.
Okay. We'll figure it out, or Ivan will figure it out.
It's a work in progress, but we figured out why the audio was coming in and out, and when we have pop filters now. So hopefully the audio quality is a lot better than it was
We've
last
had
week.
pop filters, we're just too lazy.
Yeah, we've had them, we
them.
just never brought them out.
Yeah.
So now's a good time.
Yeah.
Well, it's because before, and you can completely just ignore this if you're not interested, but we were using one microphone that was just set up to record everything, but we had a second microphone this whole time, and we just never had a system set up to use both of them. But now we have a system set up and we can do it, and so we've been experimenting. And this is the second time we've used two microphones.
Yeah.
So
You fail as an IT top guy, by the way.
Why?
You just couldn't figure it out.
Oh my god, dude.
Sean
The
works
issue-
as an IT guy.
I'm an IT guy, but the issue with, and this is so much just background unnecessary information, but the actual issue we're having with the audio coming in and out, I've been sitting for like an hour trying to fix. But I figured it out. It was literally one setting. It was like one button I could have clicked. I clicked every other button except for that button, but I found it. Good to go. Sounds great now. Hopefully. Ivan will get mad at me later. I'm sure he always gets mad at me about something. He always walks into there and I'm like, Sean, what are you doing with the stupid accent? And I'm like, come on, Ivan. Don't be a dick.
Ivan is kind of a dick.
Ivan's a little bit of a jerk.
Yeah.
But
That's why he...
It's to be expected.
It's kind of why we usually record while he's at work.
Yeah, exactly.
So, his other real, actual paying job instead of just sitting away in the fucking apartment.
But my week was interesting.
Yeah, you want to talk about it?
I watched the first season of Game of Thrones. I have been pretty adamantly against Game of Thrones, and right now they're airing season 7. I think they just aired the finale, which I'm not going to talk about because I chose not to watch it.
I heard a lot about it.
We're not talking about
it.
But now that I'm worried about spoilers.
My roommate cried! Ronnie is very sensitive to Game of Thrones.
Well,
anyway.
yeah, I've heard crying is a very normal thing to happen in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So, but all right, I made a commitment to a friend that I'm gonna watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Now, I have been staunchly against Game of Thrones because I didn't like. I think I talked about it in one of the previous podcasts. I don't like sexposition. I don't like just the way they were doing things. I didn't feel they gave enough credit to their audience.
Yeah.
Where like they needed boobs there in order to tell important information.
Yeah.
I felt unnecessary. But.
And not all men are like, oh, boobs, I must watch.
Yeah, exactly.
And turn into...
You know what I mean? I like boobs as much as the next guy, but like I also like lore and backstory, and I'm a Dungeons and Dragons nerd.
Oh yeah,
so
you are.
that's my life.
You and Conan, who isn't here with us today.
Yeah, Conan's not here today.
Not O'Brien.
We did not invite him back because he stole.
He fucking died.
He stole my peanut butter, and I was very cross with him.
Oh, did he really? He didn't just eat your steak that one time?
He ate the steak I cooked for him. I mean, like, I didn't make 2 steaks and then he stole one while he was over. Yeah. Like, oh, hey, what's up, bitch? I'm going to eat both these steaks and you get nothing!
Conan actually texted me today, and over at his job, it was 108 in the pit. Holy crap.
Like
and he's just like, I'm going to die now.
San Diego's in the middle of a fucking heat wave right now. It was in the normal, inland valley, like, not desert, and we're not next to the coast, we're just normal inland. It was between 103 and like 108 today,
and
depending
I'm
on where
high
you were.
desert.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
high desert
yeah.
where I'm at, so it'll be really hot in the afternoon, and then nighttime is like fucking freezing for me.
Good. I wish.
Veronica loves to be freezing, so
I do
it'll
too.
be like 50 something with the window open.
I would much rather be cold than hot.
Yeah. Same.
Because I feel like when you're hot, there's only so much you can take off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you can get naked depending on where you are. Like, I just want to make that perfectly clear because I work at a school. You can only take off so many clothes before, like...
You get in trouble.
You get in trouble, or before, like... I mean, like, there's only so much you can do. It doesn't get colder just by taking off... Like, I'll lay in bed naked and still be, like, sweating my balls off.
TMI.
People get naked, Sam. It's just a thing people do. Everybody has a naked. Everybody has one.
I don't.
You don't have a naked?
No.
No, I'm proud of you.
I'm just, like, all scaly under these clothes.
Oh,
just, like,
that explains quite a bit.
I'm scaly.
But, you know, when you're cold, you can just keep putting on layers until you're warm.
Yeah, I love fall. I have, like...
Fall's good.
I'm, like, kind of one of those nerdy moms. I don't have kids, but I like themes, and when fall comes around, I bring out my knit sweater that's orange and yellow, and I have, like, little pumpkin earrings and little fall leaves and stuff like that, and I freaking love fall! I don't like
Fall's
pumpkin
good.
spice lattes.
I don't either.
know why.
I think it's gross.
I don't know.
Well, just pumpkin
I
spice
guess I'm
in
just
general.
not a proper white girl who can't even in college.
Yeah, you can even a little bit, which is too much.
Yeah.
If you can even a little bit, it's too much for pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love fall. Fall's my birthday. I found out my birthday this year is actually going to come out on a day where we air an episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my birthday's on a Friday this year. So
Fun.
we'll have to do something special.
Okay. I'll plan it with whatever not money I don't have.
I like it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so I watched the first season of Game of Thrones, and about halfway through the third episode,
fuck it, I love it.
I had this moment where I'm like, wow, I'm really invested in what's going on right now.
Yeah, you were live, not tweeting it, sorry, Facebook.
It's like, the term is live tweeting, but I did it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Basically what I was doing was I was reacting in real time to the series, because we marathon all 10 episodes of the first season. So as things were happening, I would put on Facebook, like, what the fuck is up with this three-eyed raven? I don't even understand. And then, like, the mountain kills a horse at one point. And I'm like, you can't just kill a horse? What the hell kind of mountain is this guy? You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I counted after the fact. I posted 66 times on Facebook in the span of 10 hours.
Yeah.
And I was told by numerous people, one, that they loved it, which was good. It was very heartening.
I enjoyed it, and I haven't even really watched Game of Thrones too much.
It was very heartening to hear that I wasn't annoying people, although I did get a couple messages that was like, dude, you are taking up my entire newsfeed right now.
Oh, I've got friends who happen to have babies and don't really do
Fuck
a
that.
whole lot right now.
Rather talk about Game of Thrones.
Well, they just don't have a whole lot going on, like, outside of their kids, so they just kind of, like, sit around doing Facebook right now, which is totally fine. That's what they want to do.
I want to pull up some of my gems.
Yeah, I'm looking right now.
I have it on Facebook right now on my computer. Oh god,
Jon Snow, will you fucking get back to the fucking wall? Hashtag first time Game of Thrones viewing.
Oh god, yeah. So I tagged them all with hashtag first time GOT viewing, and then I marked each episode. Let me see if I can find a really good one. Oh yeah, and the Sean Bean prophecy has been fulfilled. That was when he died.
Oh.
Because Sean Bean dies in fucking everything that he's in. Oh yeah, blood magic. Did Dragon Age teach you all nothing? And my other favorite one was they have a battle at some point. It's towards the end of the actual season. But it's... Let me see. Yeah. Man, if only they had the budget in the first season to actually show the battle. Because Tyrion pulls a Bilbo Baggins and gets knocked out at the very beginning. And then it cuts to him waking up at the end of the battle. And I'm like, oh, you sneaky producers. Trying to do the most you can with the little money that you have.
I'm looking around.
There's
oh my gosh, it's Filch! Haha, because we're Harry Potter nerds. And then there was like, holy shit, it's Tonks!
Mm-hmm. I hear you see her boobs at some point, and I'm really excited about it.
Because boobs?
Because Tonks. Are you kidding me?
Because Tonks is boobs?
Because Tonks is boobs.
Tonks is amazing.
She is.
Yeah. I'm it's one of my Hufflepuff characters and she still dies. Do we even have a Hufflepuff that doesn't die?
A lot of Hufflepuff characters die. I'm trying to think.
Eddie in the books hasn't died, I believe.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And I actually like Eddie despite him being
He's
kind
the
of
one
an ass.
who thinks that Harry sets the snake on him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not on him, on
or like
the other guy.
Yeah.
And I actually like Eddie. He's actually a good guy. He's just a bit of an asshole. But, I mean, he helped the kids, I believe, get to the dungeons. And then he's ended up joining the fight for Hogwarts.
And the Hufflepuff teachers don't die.
No. There's only one that I actually know of. Sprout. Professor
Is
Sprout.
Flitwick not Hufflepuff?
No, he's Ravenclaw.
Is he?
He's head of your house, bitch!
Oh, that's right. He totally is. Wow. Revoke my Harry Potter card.
Fuck!
Fuck, man. I always forget that shit. I don't know. But anyway, I had a really good time. I'm looking forward to doing it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. About halfway through the third episode, I'm like, okay, I actually want to watch this now. Because I was afraid I was going to be like, man, I'm just going to have to trudge my way through this.
Yeah.
But I found a joy in it, and next week we're doing season 2. Very excited.
When the first season first came out several years ago, my aunt tried to get me to watch it, and it was like episode 1 or 2, and I'm just like, wait, so they're brother and sister and they're fucking?
Yeah, that's the first episode.
Yeah, the first episode. And she's like, well, yeah, but I don't think that they're full brother and sister. And I'm like...
No, they're full brother and sister. You can't try and justify that.
And then she gave me the books
And wait, hold on. Is it okay to fuck your sister if she's only a little bit your sister?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
I guess maybe if you're down south, but let's not get into that.
Hey, well, we don't want to alienate our southern viewers.
I don't want to offend anybody.
I don't want to offend. Who could we offend today? Who are we going to offend?
I don't want to.
Let's fuck people with brown hair. Fuck people with brown hair.
So me.
You have blonde currently, so you're cool.
My natural color is brown, you insignificant piece of white bread.
Like a true blonde girl, you have artificially enhanced yourself to fit in better with your society. See, now we're offending blondes, which is what I am, which means I can say it.
Aryan.
Yeah, a little. Blonde is a very interesting word. Did you know if there's no E on the end of blonde, it means masculine? And then blonde with an E is feminine?
Like in French or just...
No, in English.
Really?
So like if you're talking about the boy is blonde is spelled without an E.
Okay, that's interesting.
But if she is blonde, then the blonde is spelled with an E.
That's kind of interesting because we don't really do masculine, feminine.
We don't. There's only a handful of words that we do like that.
I've actually wondered that because when I go to buy blonde hair dye or get it done, it's usually with an E.
Right, because it's feminine. But on my my license, it's blonde without an E.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah, how cool is that?
I know France does that. I took French for a little bit. I did not pass.
No?
And obviously the Spanish does it too.
I wanted to take French. I took German in high school. I did 4 years of German. And in my 4th year of German, or my senior year of high school, I only needed I only had 4 classes that I needed to take to graduate with college credit. I could get into college. I only need 4 classes. But the state requires that you take a minimum of 5 classes if you're in high school. So I'm like, okay, shit.
Really?
Yep. I know, I tried.
It was 4.
I went to my counselor. Yeah. It's 4 if you have an IEP, which is a learning disability. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and it's...
My school said 4.
I think it's an individualized education program or something like that is what IEP stands for.
Well, my
high
school was a dropout factory. So, which is a literal term.
My school said I went to the counselor's office and was like, hey, can I take 4 classes? Mm-hmm. And they were like, no. So... I was like, okay, so I asked if I could take French 1 as well as German 4, and they also said no. Because they don't want students taking 2 foreign languages. I don't know why that was the case. My counselor fucked me up, by the way. Yeah. My counselor, completely ruined my college career because she let me graduate without an art credit. Even though I had 2 years of an art, she had said that it counts to get into college, because in California we have A through G requirements, which is you have to have 4 years of math, you have to have 1 year of art, you have to have 3 years of science.
It actually changes if you're an art major.
True.
In college.
Well, because I had to go to a trade school.
Yeah.
But I ended up going to a school in Arizona for a little bit because they were allowed to take me. But I took 2 years of video production as my art, because that was what I was super interested in. Yeah. And my counselor told me that would count for my A through G requirements. It didn't.
Was the reason because you're an art major and therefore it doesn't count?
No, this is high school.
Oh.
No.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
In
okay.
high school, I took 2 years of video production. And my high school counselor said, yes, this will count for your A through G. Come to find out, it did not. I was actually ineligible to go to college, a university in California because of my high school counselor.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, I was fucking pissed.
Well, I found out at my college when I was going to school up north, humanities, you can get humanities credit for taking a 3D design class, which is what my teacher boss taught. I work with him. As well as color theory. It can count as humanity credit, but only if you're not an art student. Which I thought was kind of bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, art majors are a special thing. Like, it's interesting. I went to a trade school to do 3D animation and graphic design. Those are my 2 degrees. They are science degrees. They are not art degrees. Science. Which is cool. It's computer science, which means those degrees are way more versatile. Yeah,
mine's kind of a 2-for-1 deal depending on what I can go in, because I've got 3D modeling and animation going for me. So I can go computer science. Usually, I think it's under computer science. Sorry, didn't do my vocal warm-ups like I should have.
That's okay.
Or I can go the art direction with storyboarding and whatnot, which is kind of something I do enjoy doing. Storyboarding, and I do enjoy actually Billy West. The voice actor actually influenced me. He inspired me to get into writing for shows, just by talking about how much he loved the writers of Futurama and whatnot. Billy West is Fry, by the way, and Professor Farnsworth, and
Invader Zim.
He's Billy West?
Yeah, well, he was in the pilot. He was...
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was actually going for Morty in Rick and Morty, too.
I heard that,
Yeah, and then Justin Roiland was like, no, I can do both. Yeah. And then he somehow got Dan Harmon in on it and started...
Well, they were friends. They did all whole, like, behind the scenes.
Well, Dan Harmon, I think, actually wanted him to, have a co-host or whatever, and then he just ended up like, no, I can do this, and then did a bunch of voices, and he's like, okay, you can do this. So I feel kind of bad for Billy West, though. Yeah. He's not doing anything right now. I love you, Billy. You inspired me.
Billy West is one of those actors who he can get work.
He is so kind. I actually met him at a Spike and Mike Sick and Twisted Animation Festival, which is amazing if you ever get the chance to go.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, so Spike and Mike, it used to be this big festival of animation where it's like, it's not that big of a deal anymore because we get sick, twisted, fucked up animation all the time. I mean, look at the shit that Rick and Morty gets away with. Simpsons. This was like back when The Simpsons was like, oh, can't do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, censorship and whatnot. So people would go to Spike and Mike. They're actually trying to get a documentary going right now. I want to donate to it. And
that sounds cool.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. Actually, the creator of regular show, J.D. Quintel, had his first regular show pilot on there too in the AM/PM, and then the Joyful Man from Lollyland or whatever. He had his shows on there. There's some pretty grotesque ones that even I'm like, oh gosh, why? Yeah, so I met Billy West there at a Spike and Mike Twisted Animation Festival in, where was it? La Mesa, Point Loma, one of those places. And he was there as a special guest star. And Robin Williams has gone there, a bunch of other voice actors and whatnot. Met Billy West, and we actually got to sit because it was such a small convention because not many people go. There were like maybe 50 people in the entire room. We got to sit for like a couple of hours on and off and just talk to him face to face, and he gave us a whole bunch of just... Oh my god,
That's
it
cool.
It was awesome.
Voice acting is one of those things I've always wanted to do professionally.
I do too,
because I do a lot of impressions and a lot of just random voices.
Yeah.
Like we've created characters just us sitting around and talking. Like I don't know how much we want to talk about Ned, but Ned's a great character.
Ned's cool.
But it's something I've always wanted to do. Like when I would do 3D animation, I would make characters and scenarios. For me to voice act with. Yeah. Like I did one that was a zombie chasing a girl, and I was dating a girl at the time, and she basically made the running noises, and I made the zombie noises. And that came out super great, and I do a lot of impressions.
So I had an animation I was working on several years ago. It was the first time I ever actually animated, so I was probably like maybe 19 at the time or so. In college, first year. And I had a friend come in for me because the main character was this certain cleaning product. Can't actually say which one. Anyway, I had him say this one line. I'm like, okay, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick. Your mic's all set up. We'll record after I get back. Leave. I'm gone for 2 minutes or whatever. I come back. And the girl sitting next to me is laughing really hard, but she's doing it silently, like her face is down on the table, and she's just like trying really hard. She's shaking.
You can see her bobbing up and down.
Yeah. And the room is just quiet, and people are like kind of looking at me, and their faces are red, and I'm just like looking at my friend. His name's John, by the way. I'm like looking at him like, what did you do? And the girl lifts her head up. She's crying. Her eyes are red. Her whole face is just purple, and she's just like, nice tits. Because that was the line in the show. While I was gone, he did like 40 different versions of nice tits, nice tits, nice tits. Nice so tits. Basically, it was a girl cleans her toilet with this cleaning thing. She jumps in the shower, she gets out, and the little mascot is just like, hey, nice tits.
Oh my god.
And there's like Jaws theme and everything.
That's great.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever really animated. And that's actually what made me, because I was thinking, I don't know if I want to do this, there's so much work put into it. But after I was done and I saw it done and I actually made this thing, even though it was so janky, I loved it so much. I'm like, this is what I need to do. This is what I got to do. I can't just do comics for the rest of my life. I need to do this. I need to create. I need to make these people come to life, and I fucking loved it.
Well, there's something magical about it. So, like I mentioned before, I play Dungeons & Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
But I play Dungeons & Dragons in a way where I write all my own stories. And I created my own world and all of its backstory and its lore and its history. And then every story that we do is handwritten by me, and it always adds something, and I write in plot twists and stuff like that. And there's something super rewarding about seeing people really get into and respect something you've written and created. Like, I can't tell you as a dungeon master, somebody who runs the game, what it's like to give little tiny details, and then like 3 hours later, your players remember those details.
I actually was helping to run an animation club at my old college, and I just brought this little storyboard as a example, and I actually had kids like drawing my characters and
that's cool.
Doing it and kind of doing it in their own style, but they're trying to copy my style, because that's the thing about animation. You got to be able to make sure that you can copy style. And oh my gosh, my heart just filled up with such happiness and warmth, and I wanted to cry because people were drawing my character, and there's no other explanation. It was just so wonderful.
Having somebody respond to something you've created is the best feeling I think I've ever felt. I've been in love. I've been in love 3 times, and I think that's better.
I always say art is my first love.
Yeah.
Who cares about the other guy?
Yeah, art's a beautiful thing, and I think that's the big reason why we do this podcast.
Yeah.
Is just because you and I have such a need to create and produce and to do something and put something out there in the world.
Yeah, and sometimes, we might be in a little bit of a dry spell, but doing something like this where we're motivated, we need to do this.
We need to do it. We have a deadline. We got shit we got to do.
Like, I was so tired today. I was just like, I don't even know if I can
was too.
And then Conan's just like, dude, I'm gonna fucking die as soon as I get to bed. I'm like, okay, well, Conan can't just do the podcast without me and take my place, so I guess I'm gonna go get a coffee and meet up with Shawnee C.
Shawnee C.
Yeah.
No, it really is a beautiful thing. Like, I do so many different art forms. The only thing I can't do is I can't draw. And I know everybody says like, well, everybody can draw if they just try hard enough. As a 24, almost 25-year-old man, have a hard time coloring inside the lines. Like, it's difficult for me. I can do it on the computer because the computer has a Control-Z button.
Have you
computer
ever
has an undo.
Control-Z'd your drawing, like, while you're, like, doodling?
Yeah,
in pencil or pen or something, and I've done that before. I was like, fuck. Well,
I've done it and then remembered that redo is a thing.
Yeah.
And then got it back. But I have had that many heart attacks. But no, like when I was in school for 3D animation, one of the, we were doing character creation classes, and one of the things that we had to do was we had to do sketches of our character.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it. I mean, I physically could not do it.
The character sheet.
Yeah, I could make the character. I could mold it as I was creating it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. It was very difficult for me to do
Well,
the drawing side.
if I were to give you a character sheet, which if you don't know what it is, you could easily look it up in Google. It's basically 3 pictures, a side view, a front view, and a back view of your character. If I were to give you that, would you be able to transfer it in and make it?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's easy. There's actually, I was working one of my artistic pursuits. And the whole reason I went to do 3D animation was because I wanted to make video games. That was what I wanted to do. And for the longest time, I wanted to work for a studio. And I still do. Part of me still wants to do that.
Yeah.
And,
And that's what I figure, because as a guy who has an animation degree, you don't talk a whole lot about animation.
I don't. I could talk forever about video games, but we don't, because you don't know video games too well.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who, I like video games.
Yeah.
I love video games. Don't get me wrong. Fanboys don't hate me.
Yeah.
I love video games. I suck at video games.
Well, yeah. Like,
I rage quit so hard on Zelda.
What I want to do is I want to have a series that I take you through good video games.
Yeah.
And us talking over it and stuff.
I suck at first-person shooters.
That's okay. Everybody, everybody does until they get good at it.
I grew up with, Nintendo third-person.
Sure.
And
like I think you would really enjoy Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think you would really enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't have a Switch yet because I'm broke.
I do. And you could come over and play.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Never mind the fact that I live like 50 miles that away, but yeah.
We can make that into a series if we wanted to.
Yeah, maybe.
But
give us a like if you think that'll be a good idea.
Yeah.
If you would actually watch
If you guys want to see us play video games, leave a comment. Tell us games we should play. I have tons of them. Video games have been my life. Okay, so here's my story. Video games have been a part of my life since I was about 3 years old. That was when the Nintendo 64 came out.
Nintendo 64!
What is that from? That is from.
It's like a video of like 2 little kids. They get into
And
they're just so happy.
I remember. So anyway, but I grew up with Super Mario 64. I grew up with like Star Fox 64, GoldenEye, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. So many games, and I was always that kid growing up where my house had all the consoles. So my house was always the hangout spot. Like, hey, let's play Halo 2 and then maybe play Kingdom Hearts because I had an Xbox and a PlayStation 2. You know what I mean? So they've always been a part of my life, and as an adult, I still have all of the consoles. In my apartment right now, I have the Xbox One, I have the PS4, I have the Nintendo Switch, I also have a Wii U in here, I have a 360. I still have a Nintendo 64 hooked up in my spare bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I still play them almost every day. Video games have been my life for such a long time that I'm so entrenched into what good video game design is. I can critique it. I've considered becoming a reporter, like a reviewer, a video game reviewer for like Kotaku or something like that. I've considered submitting them things I've written because like I'll do reviews of when they do the Game Awards at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I'll go over the analysis of each of the games and then do my pick and why I chose it. And
it's also a little funny that you were training Maya and I was training 3ds Max.
Yeah.
Which they're basically the same thing except one is more animation oriented. The other one has, I guess you can code. I haven't gotten that part.
You can code in both.
Max,
Maya runs with Python. And so if you know Python, you can code with it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But 3ds Max is more for...
Anyway, long story short, I always wanted to make video games. I was always, since I was 4 years old, it was what I wanted to do. And I went through, different phases where I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to be a quantum physicist. That was when I was older. I wanted to get into theoretical quantum physics because I'm super huge into physics, and quantum physics in particular, like quantum mechanics, fascinate me. The way my physics teacher explained it was, if a tree falls in the forest and nothing is around to hear it, the tree doesn't actually exist. And that sounds crazy, but the math fucking works.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's the fundamental,
yeah.
Basis of what quantum mechanics
are.
And
then people are typing in the comments like, no, this is wrong!
Well, no, they discovered the Higgs boson particle, which is a particle that comes in and out of existence. It just appears randomly.
That's good.
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I went to school to do 3D animation because that was what I wanted to do, and I thought I wanted to work for a video game studio. Mm-hmm. And then one of my teachers asked me, like, well, if you got a call from, like, Pixar, would you want to join? And I'm like, yes, if I got a call from Pixar, I would absolutely 100% go work for Pixar for the rest of my life. Yes, please. But as I got older, I had a very rough time in college. I went through a lot of like mental hardship and emotional hardship.
Like us all.
Yeah, well, graduating was very difficult for me.
Yeah.
But once I graduated, I didn't really get too much help as far as building up my portfolio or my demo reel or anything like that to send out to companies. So I got my degree and I didn't really do anything with it. And I fell into the IT job, which is what I currently do. And it's something I love and am happy to do it for the rest of my life. But for the longest time, like I decided I wouldn't want to do a studio. I would want to do my own studio. I would rather do an indie project with a small group of people than be a part of a big group.
And that's totally fine. I actually met the director of, I think it was like last year's animated short. They won Best Animated Feature at the Oscars for short. It's called Bear Story, and I believe that they were, where were they from? Colombia? No. Started with a C. Anyway, they won, and they were just a small company of like maybe 6 to 9 people at most. Mm-hmm. And it took them like 5 years.
Well, and that's the thing, as far as the video games go, and we haven't had a super huge video game talk.
No.
And I'd like to do just the State of Video Games podcast every once in a while. But there's a big problem right now in the video game community about AAA gaming, which are the people who get all of the money. That's your Halo. That's your Metal Gear Solid. I mean, like all these big. Destiny is a big one that's coming out right now. Destiny 2.
I remember.
Those are AAA games. Those are games that have millions and millions and millions of dollars sunk into them. Hundreds of people on a team. And then you have indie games, which is usually no more than like 20 people. And there are indie games that far surpass AAA games. AAA games have some fundamental flaws in the industry right now. And they go through trends. Like there's always commonalities between like in this year, what's the problem versus what last year, what was the problem? Like 2 years ago, the big problem was microtransactions. That was the big problem, was pay to win gameplay. You saw that a lot with like Call of Duty and Battlefield, where it was just people could pay money and get better guns and levels and stuff like that. The big problem with gaming now was the focus on multiplayer only games. And that's starting to go away. There's a lot of games that now are focusing on multiplayer as well as a single-player campaign. Okay. There are a lot of examples of like the first Titanfall, the first Star Wars Battlefront. Then there was like Overwatch. As good as Overwatch is, it's multiplayer only. There was a big problem where there was such a focus on multiplayer only, and that's what you paid for. But nowadays, they're taking that back and being like, okay, we need a single-player campaign on top of the multiplayer. Because people like me, I like single-player. I like narratives, and I like playing by myself. I don't like relying on other people. I don't like when my team is losing and it's not my fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway, I wrote a synopsis and a script for a video game. And that was one of my creative things that I did, and I just kind of put aside. And this all harkens back to me not being able to draw. Which was, I had this skill I could 3D animate, but getting the actual characters drawn is very difficult for me. I just can't do it. My sister does fine art and like nothing else. She is a painter and she draws constantly and she's getting her own style. I'm super proud of her. She has her own like unique style now, which is super amazing.
Yeah.
But I commissioned her to do some concept artwork for the video game that ended up coming out really well that I can take and now I can animate on top of.
That's nice.
That got put on hold. I think that's going to be my next year project.
Yeah.
Because I have one, without going into too much detail on the project that's going on next year, because I imagine I want to take a whole podcast and devote it to talking about my project this year.
What you're doing now, we're going to talk about that in maybe a couple weeks here.
A couple weeks, hopefully. But it's music. And this year I decided, so at the beginning of the year I was like, okay, I have all of these projects, but nothing is getting done. Why is that? And it was because I have so many things that I'm putting all of my attention in a little bit in a bunch of places. So what I decided is I'm going to take one project a year and focus on it. And that's all I'm going to do. So I put my video game on hold. I put my book on hold. I put my poetry book on hold. I put both my video games on hold. I have a script for a short film I want to do. I put that on hold. And right now I'm focusing on music. And that is what I'm doing. And I just punched my mic and I apologize. So that should be done by Christmas time. So hopefully later we can talk a little bit more in detail about what I'm doing with that. Because I'm super excited about it, and it's starting to actually come together.
You put a lot of time in there.
Oh my god, so much. I've been doing this since January, and it's just now coming together.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about it.
Good.
But anyway, yeah, and that was, so when I finish this, I think my next project is one of my video games.
That'll be
And
fun.
yeah, I'm really excited to get into it and do it.
And I know a bunch of people too who, if you're interested, they could probably.
Definitely, I would like to have a small little group that everybody gets a designated task and all that.
I actually realized I work really well with people, and when we got to doing animation shorts with a small group, I would work better with some than others, obviously.
Well, you also have commitments and deadlines, and you have to answer to other people.
Yeah.
And that's what's been hardest about doing the music.
Yeah.
Is I'm only answering to myself because I'm doing all of the instruments.
Yeah. You're recording separately and then composing it together.
Yeah. It's very difficult. Yeah. But I'm very excited about it.
I actually enjoy working with people.
Yeah.
It can be a bit, it can be really irritating when somebody tells you, okay, I'm going to do a certain level of work, and they give it to you, and then they really haven't done anything at all, which has been a problem with me every once in a while. Not me personally, but other people I've worked with. The first time I actually animated in a group, it was down here in San Diego, and this one guy, the teacher kept on switching up the story. It was supposed to be a 30-second like PSA type thing. He ended up being like a minute 20. It was just 4 people. This one guy, I would make the backgrounds, he would take them and redraw them. I'm like, this is kind of, I didn't want to do it anymore. Sure. It was a story that a friend of mine and I made together, and they totally changed it out. The whole story changed. It didn't make any sense, and it was just supposed to be a little commercial bumper. And it broke my heart inside. And then I was just like, I don't really want to work with people for a bit. Got to college where people actually enjoyed working together and really had a passion for animation. They understood, hey, need to work well with others.
Yeah, definitely.
So and that's another thing too. Like, maybe you're not going to be animating. Maybe you're not going to be character designing. You might just end up doing like something called skinning, which is like making sure that everything bends and moves right. Stuff like that.
Well, and
or lighting.
Well, one of the things about it's such an amazing thing when you have a bunch of people who all share a vision. Yeah. Is an amazing thing when it comes together.
Yeah, I know so many people, and they are going to be phenomenal. They just need to kind of get their foot in the door. Yeah. Yeah, and they are just fantastic animators, and they're great people too, and I know that they can go far. So if you're listening, I love you guys. Yeah. I hope they're listening.
We've gotten really deep this episode. This is not the funny episode.
No, we were supposed to do
something, something completely else. But I'm enjoying talking about this because this is not something I get to talk about very often. No. This is a nice, calm, soothing, not super funny, but good. I think fun to talk about. Yeah, and hopefully good to listen to.
Shout out to Ivy, by the way, who actually wrote me saying that our podcast was really calming and funny to listen to. So thank you on that.
I'm sorry this episode hasn't been funny.
No. No. I actually really enjoy it when people talk about their passions too. Maybe that's just me. I don't mean to be like a downer-ish person.
No, honestly, my favorite quality in like a girlfriend is passion about something. Yeah. I could, even if it's something I'm not, and this was a problem I had with an ex-girlfriend where she did not feel this way. I could listen to a girl that I like talk about something she's passionate about for fucking ever. As long as she wanted to talk about it. Just because listening to somebody talk about their passions and seeing their face light up is a beautiful thing. I was dating a girl who straight up told me, like, Sean, I don't care. And I was like, this is a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not dating, by the way.
No, me and Sam are not dating. No, Patrick, if you're listening, you got a good girl, but like, I promise I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm just not.
Yeah, I had a boyfriend a while back where he really didn't care either, and my grandparents, and that's the thing. Don't mean to get in on people's relationships or anything, but when you listen to your friends and your parents and your family members, and because they're seeing something that you don't, because you're usually seeing that person in the golden light, whatnot. If someone tells you like he's just got no passion. chances are it's probably right. And looking back, he really had no passion, which is really... everything was a competition between us two, which really just ruined it for me.
I really enjoy just talking to people who are passionate about something. And it doesn't matter what you're passionate about, just the fact that you're passionate about something.
You need to create, like, maybe you're in a dry spell. I really hope that this is actually inspiring people to get drawing, get animating, sing or something.
Do something.
Do what makes you happy. Life is really too short. I am 24 years old, and really, life is too short. You're going to be brought down, but do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
As long as you're not hurting yourself or other people, that's my rule. Do what makes you happy.
Yeah, life is too short for you not to be happy in it. If you're ever in a situation and you find yourself that you're not happy, you should always make the change to something to be happy. That should be your goal every day, is what will make me happy.
And sometimes that's really hard. Like, I've had to let go a couple of people where I'm just like, I love you, you are a good person, but you're kind of not that good for me. Yeah. And I don't mean, like, relationship-wise. I mean friends.
Yeah.
Where they were just really bringing me down, being around them. Not that they're bad people, but it's just, they absorb the energy out of you.
Well, I tell you, what was hard about growing up the way I grew up was, and I don't want to make it sound like I had a bad childhood. I had a very good childhood.
Well, that's an interesting thing too, because a lot of times we don't really remember the in-betweens of childhood. We either remember something that's really good or something that's really bad, because our memories are connected to emotion.
I agree. And there's definitely bad things that happen. There's definitely great things that happened. And the way, I don't want to get too personal about my family stuff, but growing up, Lindsay, who's my sister, was the artist. And because she did visual mediums. She would draw a picture. She had a sketchbook. She would paint something. She would create something in a short amount of time and be able to show it, and it'd be appreciated. When I was growing up, that really didn't get fostered in me. I was always seen as the more the left brain. Is left brain the one that's intelligence?
That was right.
No, it is right brain. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the Bo Burnham song.
Link below.
Yeah, Bo Burnham, left brain, right brain is amazing. But I was always considered the right brain kid. I was very good at math. I was good at science. Everybody thought I was going to grow up and, do computer science, do programming, do IT, which is what I ended up falling into. But that was just kind of the direction. I was not seen as somebody who was artistic or was creative in any way, which is difficult. And it really got to be a problem with singing. Singing was considered... I think my father was very worried I was going to be gay.
Which is just terrible.
Which is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, when I was a kid, my favorite Power Ranger was the Pink Ranger.
Aww.
And pink's my favorite color, and I think that's why. Like, I grew up thinking my favorite color was blue, because pink is a girl color.
According to society,
right.
But it's not.
Exactly. My favorite color was pink, and that was why I liked the Pink Ranger. Plus, she was one of, 2 girls. So I liked the girl, at that age. But whatever. But I had to learn to sing. Singing was frowned upon. It was thought of a very feminine. And I always
wondered as a kid, because people would tell me, "Oh, only girls sing in school."
Yeah.
But then I was thinking,
it's
how
not
come
even
there's
close to
so
true.
many men I listen to on the radio, and they have wonderful voices, and I'm 8 years old at this time, if not younger.
So I had to learn to sing as an adult, and it's very hard for me to sing with people around. Like, even if I'm sitting next to somebody... Sorry, I have the hiccups. If I'm sitting next to somebody in the car, it's difficult for me to go full vocal range, because, in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, they're going to make fun of me, oh, they're going to judge me, or oh, I'm going to annoy them, that kind of stuff. And it's very, when I'm by myself in the car, I fucking go all out.
I started doing that too, and my voice was never really that great. It's still not that great, but I started singing a lot of Steven Universe girl songs.
Yeah. And
I actually heard my voice getting stronger and stronger.
You do.
Because I have a similar vocal range to her, and my voice is a little funky right now.
I like yonky. I do like yonky as an adjective.
It's a little wonky right now because I drink some soda and drink coffee, which I'm trying to stay away from because like all the syrup in your throat. Sure. And I do the nasal cleanse every once in a while, the neti pot, which is really gross, but it's kind of cool.
Yo, man.
Yeah, it definitely works, but I want to get back into like just singing in my car. And my friends and I, when I was living up north, we would all sing in the car. It took a while.
Yeah.
And that way nobody really cares.
Yeah, if everybody's singing, that's one thing. Because then you can go all out.
I used to sing with one of my old friends in the car, though, and like they would jump in with me every once in a while, and we would just sing cartoon songs. Cartoon songs really like got me, like the Steven Universe songs especially.
Sure.
got me, and I'm just like I fucking love this, and I would try and sing it like this character, and my voice got kind of stronger. And when I got into my acting class, really trying to learn how to control my diaphragm breathing and whatnot, and I'm still trying to fix that.
Yeah.
It really helps.
It does. I really enjoy singing now. Like it's I've been doing it now every day for the past probably 5 years since I've been living on my own.
I actually realized I sing way too much on this podcast. I'm not very good either.
No,
like mimicking.
I'm going to be honest with you. I listen to it when Ivan listens to it, and he tells me, you actually, you're always on key. You do very well. You also have a very good Helga impersonation.
Yeah, and that's not even a fucking impersonation. That's just my voice. And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, damn straight, they should have got me in the fucking Jungle Movie! My voice cracked.
You got a good Helga.
It's just my voice.
I haven't had an opportunity to do any of my impressions.
Yes, I love him. Oh, Arnold. Yeah, that's not me impersonating. That's just me. That's just
you.
That's just my voice. I don't change
your
my
normal voice
is
a very good Helga.
Yeah.
What was I talking about?
Which, if I was 10 years old and heard that, I would probably be really distraught because Helga wasn't technically the prettiest, and my family is very big on looks.
Yeah.
Not that I care anymore.
Sure.
But 10 years old girl, that's really something. But now I'm just like, fuck yeah! Main chick!
What was I talking about? Oh yeah, my upbringing. So singing was considered a very feminine thing, so I had to learn to do that as an adult, and I've gotten much better because I sing a lot of metal, I sing a lot of Korn and Slipknot.
I can't do that.
And it took a long time to figure out how to get the roars and the screams down.
Yeah.
They're fun to do. Once you get them, they're really fun to do.
Yeah.
And just to mess around with. But so I had to learn to do that. But I started playing guitar when I was 13. And at this point, my sister's 4 years younger than me. That would have made her 9. So this is when she's really starting to get into drawing in a big way. Mm-hmm. So she had the visual medium that she could go and show people. And something I wish would have happened that never did, unfortunately, was my parents never asked me to play them something. You know what I mean? Yeah. I never got the support of hey, even if we don't like the music that you're playing, or even if we don't think you're that good, why don't you come and put it out in the living room and play something for us?
Yeah, I oddly got that later.
Yeah.
Especially now with my mom. My mom actually tried to take away my sketchbook, but little did she
Why would you do that?
Yeah, she thought, because I really was not good at school. I was the creative person. I'm just you know what, fuck it. I was actually really into the Captain Underpants books when I was a little kid, and that actually got me into drawing comics. And I had a friend at the time where we both really liked comics. We both fucking loved Pokemon. So we would make Pokemon comics starring us.
So you're doing fan fiction from a very young age.
Yeah, I didn't really realize that. But...
Yeah, at the time it doesn't seem like that's what that is, but as an adult looking back, that was what that was.
Front door. Anyway, so we got really into that, and we wanted to sell them for 50 cents. We never got around to that. I actually have an old Pokemon comic in my car right now that my mom found. Really? Yeah. Interesting. It's kind of cringy. I thought it was so funny. Every once in a while, as I got older, I would break the fourth wall too. It's just and now back from our sponsors or whatever. I'm fuck, that's cool. Cringy. I was kind of a That's funny kid. Though. Come on. Breaking the fourth wall is a very advanced technique. I was a very weird kid, and not. That's okay. The weird kids are the cool kids. Yeah, but I was also diabetic, and when I moved from my old school, the first day I get a ring at my new school, the intercom. It's just Samantha Dirts, please come to the office now. Just ooh, you're in trouble. And it's frick, because I didn't curse in my head back then, because I was a good little Christian girl.
What if a kid got into the over the school PA system?
Yeah.
And like was super high, and was just like,
I hope not. They're like
just,
8
no,
at this point.
just
6, 7.
Hello, we're going to McDonald's. Can I take your order, please?
Sounds like something that would happen in my high school. But anyway,
that would have been a good prank, senior day prank.
But I am diabetic. I have been diabetic as of this month, 21 years.
You've literally never mentioned that to me.
Diabetic?
I'm just kidding.
I was like, what? I don't get sarcasm, Sean!
You're diabetic for how long now?
I have been diabetic for 21 years now. My diabetes can legally drink.
Even though it probably shouldn't.
It really shouldn't. There is no such thing as sugar-free alcohol.
No.
Look into it. Mm. Anyway, so I used to get called in the first, 3 days of school, so, people thought I was the quote-unquote bad kid.
Right.
So that kind of gave me, everybody wanted to find out, why is Sam going to the office? And I really didn't want to tell people because at my previous school, I actually got made fun of for being diabetic. So most people actually didn't find out I was diabetic.
Kids will make fun of you for anything that makes you different.
Yeah, I actually told only one girl, and she was my best friend, and she ended up moving from her old school to my school because she had some problems at the other school. It just wasn't a good school, and that made me so happy because I remember crying how much I miss my old friends because I just didn't have friends.
Yeah.
In elementary school, and then she came back. I was so fucking happy. And then my other friend that I was kind of friends with, she got jealous. Well, I didn't care because I got my best friend back. But yeah, so I really wasn't good at school, especially since I was always sick. I would miss days, and I would get picked on, so I would miss days on top of that because I just didn't want to go to school. So I just ended up drawing a lot more. Drawing was what I was good at, and when there was an art project, people usually looked at me to be their partner.
Yeah.
And didn't even really do that.
Well, that's how I was with film. That's when I was in high school. That's how I was with film. Every time we had to do some sort of video project in history or whatever, I was the guy who they would want.
Well, after a while, they didn't even really want me to help them. So
because you were so weird.
I was that weird. I really fucking loved Pokemon. It was all I would talk about, and people knew that. Just oh, you like fucking Pokemon? I'm like, it's Pokemon!
Yeah, who didn't like Pokemon? I mean, honestly.
A lot of people. It was around the time that, around 10 years old when the Advanced series, the Generation 3 came out, a lot of people had already fallen out of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. I was first.
I've been a Pokemon fan since the beginning.
I liked, the first gen was my favorite, second gen was pretty good, and then everything after that I think is garbage.
That reminds me, did you hear that, so with the Sun and Moon anime coming out, Ash, Misty, and Brock, they're all coming back. And that made me so happy because I totally shit.
I'll probably rewatch it. I mean, they added Pokemon Indigo League to Netflix, the first season.
Oh, yeah.
Totally watched the shit out of that.
I freaking love Pokemon. I only stopped watching it when, just before Diamond Pearl came out because the CW made that switch with the WB.
What's it called now? Yeah, WB turned into CW.
CW, and now it's Fox 5. Down here, in San Diego.
Yeah.
So that just kind of broke my heart. I didn't have a computer at the time either.
Right.
I just got internet the past maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Or so. Now internet really has become the norm. I don't know what I would do without internet. Probably reading get a lot more done. Somebody take my Animal Crossing game away from me right now, please. Or if you have the Sagittarius arrow, please contact me below. I really want that because I have all the other celestial furniture.
Do you want us to put it in your...
Yes! I don't fuck around with Animal Crossing.
Would you like me to finish that sentence before you tacitly agree to it?
Yeah, okay.
Do you want us to put in your friend information in the description of this video?
Just send a
That's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So put a comment on, and then we'll contact you if you have... What is it you're looking for?
Sagittarius arrow.
Sagittarius arrow. If you've got it, let us know. Sam fucking needs it.
It's one of the celestial... Like I'm a Gemini. There's a Gemini closet.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
So it's a set.
Yeah, I played a lot of Animal Crossing for the Wii. I got super into it. Me and my ex-fiance did. We got super into
Story time!
For me? For you?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
after you're done.
Oh, I don't have anything important to say. I'm just here.
So
I'm just here for the company.
My sister and I used to play the Animal Crossing game Wild World on the GameCube.
I have no idea what that is.
It's Animal Crossing.
Oh.
On the GameCube. Animal Crossing Wild World is the first one.
Is it? Well, I thought it was just Animal Crossing.
It's Animal Crossing Wild World.
Yeah, all right.
Anyway.
Learn something new.
My mom thought it was really stupid that we played this game. She's like, well, what do you do? It's not like Mario. My mom kind of liked to play games every once in a while.
Sure.
She's like, it's not fucking Mario. What's wrong with you? You don't do anything. You just catch fish and bugs all day. And
all games are either Mario or not Mario.
Or Pokemon for me. So,
well, no. Well, that would fall under not Mario.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just like how everything in the universe is either a potato or not a potato.
That is true. Anyway, so one night, past my bedtime, I go to sleep. I get low in the middle of the night, and I walk out to the kitchen. Low in blood sugar. Yeah, because I got a lot of those.
Not low as in depressed.
No. Low as in blood sugar. Because I'm diabetic. Anyway, I go out into the living room, and I see my mom playing the game, and I look at the TV screen, and she's playing Animal Crossing.
Oh, shit.
She's made her own character and everything. And my mom really loved the game, and she actually got the golden net and the fishing pole before my sister and I.
Fucking hell, that's commitment.
Yeah, and she fucking loved it so much. So I actually went out and I got a used 3DS and I bought her Animal Crossing New Leaf. And we've been playing together like once weekly when I go to visit her. Mm-hmm. And it's actually really cute. I'll put some pictures up, maybe, or Ivan, I'll send you some pictures.
Ivan, do your fucking job, man.
Yeah. You didn't even do anything last
Yeah,
week.
We haven't made Ivan do anything in a little while, so put up these goddamn pictures, Ivan.
He doesn't even do what we tell him to, so...
It's true.
Yeah. He's probably gonna put a big middle finger. Or probably won't.
Don't give Ivan ideas.
Yeah. So anyway, I actually posted some pictures on my Facebook of my mom and I, our characters playing Animal Crossing, because you could take pictures on the DS, and people, I guess, I didn't know this, people, went ballistic.
Why?
They're like,
oh.
So cute. I got, somebody posted a gif of Marshall from How I Met Your Mother, hugging a pillow,
oh, I know what that's from.
Yeah, and it was just really cute, so I didn't know that was a thing. I actually teared up when I read this one post about this guy whose mother passed away from cancer, but she really loved Animal Crossing, and she sent him a bunch of letters in Animal Crossing.
Oh, that's so
I
adorable.
fucking bawled like a baby, because my mom did that on Wild World with us, and she actually wanted to send me a bunch of stuff through her game, but she hasn't fully understood that you can't do that unless I'm in her town. So my sister plays on her game though, but she doesn't really play lately. But it was really sweet. I actually made her a little clamshell music box in New Leaf with the song "I Love You" in it, and I gave it her and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, that's my mommy story.
That's
adorable. I love my mommy.
Well,
I love my grandma too, but she doesn't understand video games. So.
Well, I think we have a commitment on the show that we're gonna. The goal is to make people laugh, and we talked a lot about life. We talked a lot about passion in this. I would like to end this podcast on something funny.
Oh, are we already up?
Yeah, we're coming up on an hour.
No.
So there's I'm gonna pull it up right now. There's a set of reviews on Amazon that make me just the happiest person in the world. And I need to find it. So give me 30 seconds while I pull this up. Where is it? Where's the sugar?
By the way, if you guys haven't seen the DuckTales reboot already, it's on YouTube on the Disney XD channel, and it's fucking amazing, and it makes me really happy, although this is old news, so we should still go watch it. It's freaking amazing, and I'm really excited, and Darkwing Duck is gonna make an appearance, and I'm just really excited, and I hope that they bring in Goofy and Max, and I don't know who's gonna play Max because the original voice actor died from diabetic complications, and that really makes me sad, but I really love her, and I'm just really fucking excited! Yeah, so David Tennant plays Scrooge McDuck, and there's a bunch of, let me pull the names up. Yeah, David Tennant, Scrooge McDuck, and it's fucking awesome, and I'm just stalling for time for both of us.
Oh, you're good. I think I have it. Okay. So these are reviews on Amazon of a 5-pound bag of gummy bears, sugar-free gummy bears. These are just reviews people have posted.
Oh, I know what this is about. And I can eat sugar-free gummy bears, so this wouldn't apply to me.
Well, I think the impression is this is what happens when you eat all of them in one sitting.
Yeah,
so
I can do that.
I'm going to read just a handful of these, if you'll indulge me, so we can end on something funny, if that's cool with everybody. Okay.
I try to burp, I can't burp.
The review is titled... Nice.
Was a good one.
That was impressive.
How that made you laugh?
I bet that showed up real well on the waveform.
Good.
So this review is called Just Don't Unless It's a Gift for Someone You Hate. What came out of me felt like someone tried to funnel Niagara Falls through a coffee straw. I swear, my sphincters were screaming. It felt like my delicate starfish was a gaping maw projectile vomiting a torrential flood of toxic waste.
Okay,
100% liquid, flammable liquid, napalm.
Okay, I've got a little story about sugar-free gummy bears. Somebody I know who is like a superintendent or whatever basically told this one guy, if you eat an entire bag of sugar-free gummy bears, you can have the day off.
Wow.
He basically shat himself in the car.
That's what happens.
Yeah, so I guess that a lot of people can't handle the artificial sweetener in it.
I don't.
Or something.
Probably.
And they just end up basically shitting themselves. But he got the day off. So.
Well, that's something.
And I'm okay with sugar free. I don't really eat a lot of candy to begin with, even if it's sugar free, because there's still alcohol sugar in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't.
Sure.
At Halloween, my aunt would actually I would trade her my Halloween candy for sugar free candy, which was always like super kind of her to do.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really enjoyed it. I love the pear Jelly Bellies. Yeah, those are my favorite. So now I fucking love pear.
Nice. Okay, so this one is called Be Sure to Buy OxyClean too. Be sure to also buy a tub of OxyClean with this to get the blood and diarrhea stains out of your underwear, clothes, furniture, pets, loved ones, ceiling fans.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. This one's titled, Yup, Believe the Hype. I saw the product reviews and told some coworkers, so we bought a bag, because who doesn't want to spend the workday on the toilet and get paid, right? Brought them in yesterday morning and had a bunch of guys eat them and immediately down a handful each. Within half an hour, they were in the bathroom. Best moment of the day was when one of them, who had been in the bathroom for half an hour by that point, texted one of the others, quote, if you think it's a fart, it's not. You seem like you're really enjoying this, Sam.
I am.
Let me see.
Are we just gonna get into more like poop jokes?
No, I'm just gonna read these, and this is what I think.
No, it's gonna be like another.
Yeah.
We should just talk about poop again.
We're just gonna talk about
like
poop.
Episode 4. Go watch it. If you want poop jokes, we got poop jokes.
OMG. Everything previously written is true. It's all true. Don't eat more than 15 in a sitting, unless you are trying to power wash your intestines.
Fuck.
Okay.
An herbal cleanse would do that. No, it won't.
Will not.
Not like gummy worms.
The cramping started about an hour later, and soon enough I was as bloated as a balloon in Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. When the rumbling started, I sprinted down the hallway and made it to the bathroom just in time for the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse to stampede from my backside, laying waste to my home septic system and my will to live. After 3 hours of... After 3 hours of a pelvis-shaking gummy bear assault, I was spongy and weak, surprised that I had any bones left. I cursed Haribo with the little strength I could muster.
Are you okay?
These get to me. That's why I wanted to read them.
That's fine.
Because they're just so good. Everything about them. All right. The explosive gas let loose into an explosive shart 1 mile from home on my walk, and it was a long 1 mile back, and I had a mess. Fortunately for compression shorts, it didn't run down my leg. Now I had to hold the gas for... I can't do it. I can't.
Okay, so
I'm actually hurting my back with the laughter.
So when I was younger, I had a cousin who called when they had to go poop, I gotta take a turtle.
Oh my god, that's so fantastic.
And we had a little sandbox, and they thought that the sliding glass door was locked, so when they went to the door, they're like, oh, okay. So they went and took a turtle, quote unquote, in the sandbox, which was also shaped like a turtle. And then they didn't even try to bury it, they just covered it up with a pail, and then went back to the door and realized, oh, it's open.
Oh.
So my mom goes to, pick up toys from the sandbox, and all I hear is, what the hell?!
I'm gonna be honest with everybody. I really hurt my back bending over and laughing. My back actually really hurts right now.
Good.
Ow.
Well, I just threw out my voice
I'm
imitating my mother.
I'm actually having back spasms. Like it says,
How old are you?
I'm 24. I'm actually having a problem right now. I need to go see a chiropractor. I need like that torture machine that you strap your legs and your feet into and they stretch you.
Yeah.
Pop everything right back in place.
That sounds nice.
Oh man. Oh, my back. Alright. It's starting to go away. It's starting to. Can I read one more?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Let's find a good one here. Okay. I was glued to the toilet seat. Streams of fire burst from my colon. When I wasn't experiencing Satan's fury exploding from my rear, I was laying in the fetal position on my bathroom floor, sobbing and asking for forgiveness. I'm a 280-pound man. I was sobbing. When it was finally over, I couldn't move. I crawled onto the floor one last time and sat, motionless, until my dehydration finally required that I drank water. The other reviews are perfectly accurate. This is absolutely 100% true. Eat 2 at a time, 3 if you're brave, but for the love of God and all things on earth, do not eat anymore.
Maybe I should try to eat.
I know, I kind of want to do it now.
I haven't had candy a whole lot lately, so maybe.
When the Nintendo Switch came out, there
Nintendo Switch!
Yeah, that thing. When the Nintendo Switch came out, there was these reports that the cartridges that you used to play games taste bitter as fuck.
Why would you taste them?
Dude, I don't know what the circumstances were as the first guy to find this out, but everybody was trying it. All the videos I watched, like, there were more tasting cartridge commercials than there were, like, reviews for the Nintendo Switch. So, when I bought one, guess what I had to do? I had to taste the cartridge. Why? Granted, this was it was not pre-owned. It was a brand new cartridge. I was the first person to taste it, and I'm going to be honest with you. It was bitter as fuck. It was immediate, like, oh God, why did I do this? Oh no, why have I had this idea? So that happened, and the person who was next to me was just like, "Ooh, can I try?" No, like the thinking was that they coated the plastic in a chemical that makes it super bitter to prevent like kids from eating because they're very small. Yeah. To prevent kids or like dogs from eating them. Yeah. That's what the current theory is. Nintendo has never confirmed or denied.
Yeah, I actually read a very sad post of somebody. They had a Pokemon Y game or X game. They ended up trading all their Pokemon from their first original yellow game or whatever all the way up. Their dog ate their cartridge.
Oh, that's the worst.
So that makes a little sense.
I love Pokemon Yellow.
I love Pokemon. I actually didn't get my first Pokemon game until I was 10, which is kind of fitting.
I was, I think, 4.
I was 10, and it was Pokemon Fire Red.
Fire Red is really good.
Yeah.
Fire Red and was it Water Blue? What's the
Leaf Green.
Oh, that's right. They didn't do a water
green.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow for the Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
And they were amazing.
I played all the games from Fire Red all the way up to Sun and Moon, which I didn't like Sun and Moon too much.
Let me see. What have I played?
Well, the thing is, though, a couple of years after I got Red, so I was 10 at the time. Let's say, so I was 13, 14, when somebody actually stole my Fire Red game, and I know who stole it, but I don't actually have proof, aside from somebody just saying, yeah, he tried to sell it to me. And your name was on it. Because my mom wrote my name on it. There you go. And so that motherfucker was Team Rocket.
Oh yeah, fuck
Don't steal people's Pokemon. You steal people's Pokemon game, turn into Team Rocket, and not the funny Team Rocket with Jesse James, and I fucking hate you, bastard.
I hate you! My mom didn't understand how trading card games worked.
Yeah.
So when I went out with all my Pokemon cards, she would write my name on all of the cards, which made them worthless. I couldn't trade them.
They're worth something to you, though.
They were, but I mean, like, there were certain cards like I wanted to trade to get. Like I had this passion and drive to get a Charizard. That was all I wanted. But I couldn't trade any of my cards.
I was collecting up until Gen 5, and I was living with an old boyfriend at the time, the one that I kind of mentioned previously. He's a good guy, but he would actually end up spending, like, a lot of money on Pokemon cards. Which
we
I
all
love
did.
Pokemon cards, but like if you need a, you get your check, first things you do is go buy a bunch of fucking Pokemon cards. It's
Yeah, I don't
not
know about
exactly.
I got super into Yu-Gi-Oh. Like
Yeah, that too.
I played the Pokemon, like the actual card game,
Yeah.
way more complicated than it needed to be. But then Yu-Gi-Oh came out, and Yu-Gi-Oh was simple and super fun.
See, for me, Yu-Gi-Oh always had different rules depending on who you were playing with, and nobody understood.
That's true. Tons of I got into Yu-Gi-Oh in a big way, and then as an adult, I got into Magic the Gathering.
Yeah,
as you do.
As most people do. I never really got into Magic for some reason.
Magic's cool.
Yeah, it was a big deal when I was in middle school, but I've always just been into Pokemon cards. And, like I said, I've got a lot of cards. I've got several binders, which are probably like 2 to 3 inches thick, of just Pokemon cards all the way up to Gen 5. My favorite Pokemon, is Slowpoke.
Sure.
And I fucking love Mawile, like, even before they got the Mega. Fucking awesome. That's my main Mega, actually. I run a Steel team. When I play my Pokemon games, but what really upsets me in Sun and Moon, they got rid of triple battles, which is I fucking slay Queen. Yes,
Queen.
At triple battles.
Slay.
At triple battles, so I just fuck people up. And Mega Mawile gets something called Huge Power, which is doubles the attack power. On critical. And then you get the stab boost and all this other stuff, so I just fucking...
Yeah, I remember getting into Pokemon, like, the games, and, like, being super math-oriented with it.
There's, like, an actual fucking math equation for shinies versus the fucking EV training, IV training, not EV. Yeah, it's fucking insane. Yeah, I don't do the IV, but I do the EV training. If I want IV, I'll just...
I remember having an EV team. I remember having I think I did Steel just because I liked how the Steel aesthetic for Pokemon back in the Silver days, Gold and Silver. Yeah. And I liked what was it? I liked Ghost Pokemon. So I would have Ghost and Bug.
One that I really like that I never thought I would like because it's new is Fairy type.
Fairies are cool. They're a little overpowered.
Yeah,
when they first came out, they were a little overpowered.
I didn't think that it should be super effective against Dragon.
Well, that was the only counter for Dragon, because before Dragon was overpowered. Dragon had no super effective counters.
Andrew, or Conan, gets super mad because he runs a Dragon team, I guess, or he has a bunch of Dragon types, and they just get overpowered.
You just get wrecked by Fairy. That's the thing. Dragons are very easy to counter.
And that's the thing. Mawile is now Fairy Steel.
Yeah.
A Steel Fairy, I should say.
I think Jigglypuff is Fairy now. There are a lot of Pokemon that came out as Fairy.
Yeah, they ended up being a Fairy type, like Clefairy, I believe, too. If not, then fuck.
No,
Gardevoir and its pre-evolutions are now Fairy and whatnot. But Mawile has always been, like, one of my favorite Pokemon. I got the card, I'm like, this is an interesting looking Pokemon. Everything happened around, like, 10 years old for me. Right. So I got the card, and I'm just like, this is really fucking awesome. And I just started going off on that. And I actually saw an artist on DeviantArt, I believe. They made, like, a possible evolution for Mawile, and it was called Maldusa, which I thought was fucking awesome. Cool. So I have a Mawile named Maldusa, because it turns into a Mega. It's got 2 of the, like, fly traps on its head. Yeah. And I fucking love Mawile. That's cool. I used to really be a big Eevee fan, and I didn't actually know what shinies were. Oh. And so when that asshole fucking took my Fire Red game, he ended up trading, like, several shinies, because I realized, like, that's kind of a different color. Yeah. Yeah.
In Fire Red, they were, or I think it was Fire Red was one of the first.
I had, like, 20 boxes of just Eevees, though.
Well, Eevees are fun. Eevee teams are fun.
I'm a bit OCD, too, so what I'll do, like, once per game generation is that when I transfer my Pokemon over, I do them in numerical order.
I don't ever transfer my Pokemon.
I do. I haven't transferred them from my XY games because I like the XY games better. I like Sun and Moon, but the fact that they added a story where it's got points where you need to go to continue the story, it made me feel like I had to get through the story.
It felt
quick.
less like an adventure.
Yeah, like I had to go like right there.
There was a big problem. There was a big problem with Fallout 4 compared to Fallout 3.
Yeah,
Fallout 4 felt more like you were playing a story that had a set beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
Whereas Fallout 3, it was much more of a choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
How you want this to go?
I'm kind of hoping that Ultra Sun and Moon is a little bit better.
Yeah.
This time around, we'll see. It's got a similar kind of thing going on with Black and White 2.
Yeah.
But we'll see where.
Which
where
I
it
didn't
goes.
like. I mean, the last one, I
White.
liked Pokemon X. Before that, I had Soul Silver for the DS. I have a rule in my house about Pokemon games where, like, there has to be one ready to play at any given time.
Yeah.
So, like, I bought a 3DS and a Pokemon game just because I didn't have I lost the charger for my original DS and could no longer play Soul Silver.
That sucks.
So I bought a 3DS, and I bought a couple of the games. Like, I wanted to play Mario Kart 7, because it was the only Mario Kart I hadn't played.
Yeah.
But I played all the other ones. But I bought it for Pokemon. And I binged the shit out of Pokemon.
Yeah.
But there will come a day, it happens once every about 5 years, where I wake up one morning and I'm like, I need to play Pokemon.
The games that really, like, just set in stone for me were Fire Red. Let me see. Fire Red. I really like Sapphire. But the next game I really connected with, like on a fucking I will be destroyed if I lose this game, was my Y game. That's probably why I haven't transferred over my Pokemon yet. I really like the idea that you could change the character and whatnot, and I have a very unique looking character. We all do.
Sure.
We all do. But Sun and Moon do that again too, but it didn't feel... There's more clothing, I think, but it just didn't feel as personal.
Yeah.
And, you get creepy doll eyes.
That's
They
true.
never blink. It kind of creeps me out a bit. And I like dolls. I'm one of the few people of my friends who actually fucking likes dolls. I fucking love dolls. This is a little too creepy for me.
Dolls are just inherently creepy.
I grew up with porcelain dolls. They were my only friends next to my Pokemon cards.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
There you go.
That's my first time I've done it.
Yay!
Yay!
I was just about to
All
join
right.
in with you, too.
We can
end
We'll
this.
end it there. I got in a Hello, darkness.
Yay!
That's 2 this episode, but I got my first one in. I'm excited about it.
Yay! Well, sometimes I do it 2 or 3 times.
That's true. All right.
All right.
Thank you all so much for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. Any conversations that you want us to talk about, leave them in the comments below. What was the other thing we asked people to comment on? Games that you wanted to play.
Yeah, Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
Give us some cartoon conspiracies too. Maybe.
I think next week we're talking about different conspiracy theories regarding cartoons, about how like Ed, Ed and Eddie, all the kids are dead, and Courage the Cowardly Dog, he's a dog seeing the world normally. Well, send us what you got, and I think we're going to talk about it next week. As always, I've been Chubby Cheese.
And I've been Sammich.
And thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you all next week.
Thank you. Bye.
Just random noise.